panicked, holding your head as you looked around. The call with Jimin still connected. Yoongi immediately stood up and walked over to you. Don't worry, he must be here. Let's find him. Yoongi glanced at the group, who had already stood up, sensing the situation. Check your room. Maybe he went there. He might be with Meow. He was playing with her a few hours ago. Jimin, overhearing on the call, spoke up. No, Meow is here and isn't with us. We are coming. Jimin and Mio rushed over. You ran inside the hotel, frantically checking every corner of your room. After searching, you ran back down to the entrance where Noor, Namjoon, Jin, Hobby, Tai, and Yoongi were standing. Jimin and Mio also arrived. He's not here. I left him with you. Where he could have gone so suddenly? You gulped, feeling dizzy and unsteady. Yoongi quickly catch you before you fell, helping you sit on a wooden bench outside. The other employees began to notice the situation. Yoongi grabbed a water bottle and looked at Mio. Help her calm down. We will find him, don't worry. Mio nodded, taking the bottle from Yoongi. Let's split up and search the wooden areas. Everyone agreed and divided into teams. Namjoon with Jin, Hobby with Jimin, Noor and Tai, and Jungkook with other employees. They all rushed off calling Johan's name, turning on their phone flashes as dark settled in. Yoongi ran alone shouting Johan's name. Mio handed you the water, but you couldn't stop crying. Johan, please find him, my baby. You sobbed, your head in your hands, tears dripping onto the ground. Please calm down and drink some water. He has to be nearby. You need to stay strong to find him, Mayan. Half an hour passed as everyone searched the forest, calling out for Johan. Suddenly, Yoongi heard faint crying. He slowed down, listening closely to the sound. He was sure it was Johan. After pinpointing the direction, Yoongi rushed over, finding Johan sobbing in the dark. He quickly scooped him up, causing Johan to flinch before calming down once he realized it was Yoongi. Johan, my baby, are you okay? Don't cry, it's me. Dada is here now. He held Johan close and started walking back. Meanwhile, your fear was growing with each passing second, but soon Namjoon and Jin arrived out of breath. Yoongi found Johan. He just called me. They are on their way back. The moment you heard those words, you sighed in relief, tears of happiness streaming down your face. Mio sighed too, sitting beside you, thanking God. I will call the others and tell them to come back. Namjoon nodded as Jin began making the calls. Soon after, Yoongi appeared, holding Johan. When you saw them clearly, you ran over, scooping Johan into your arms and hugging him tightly, crying even more. Yoongi sighed as the others gathered around. Jimin ran over, hugging both of you and Johan tightly, then kissed Johan's face. Oh, Johan, you're okay, baby? You wiped your tears and looked at Yoongi, bowing your head. Thank you so much, Mr. Min. I'm sorry for causing all the trouble. No, don't be apologize. We're just glad he's fine now. You nodded, taking Johan back to your room. Yoongi glanced around and spoke loudly to the group. Alright everyone, it's time to head back to your rooms. We have a photo shoot at 9 am, so be ready. Everyone started walking back as Yoongi turned to his group. You guys okay? Yeah, thank God he's fine. We were really scared. After all, he's our nephew. But how did he vanish like that? Where was he? I found him near the old oak clearing in the forest. He must have followed me and get lost. Yeah, some employees said they saw him going after you earlier. He really scared us, but thank God he's okay. Let's be careful with the little guy. We are responsible for him. They shared a few more words before heading to their rooms. The next day, you were arranging outfit with the team, but you kept glancing at Johan again and again. Mio stood beside you, giving instruction to the workers setting up the stage for the photoshoot. Jungkook, Jimin, and Taeyong were playing with Johan. Tae was running while the three of them chased each other, laughing and giggling. Jin and Hobby were getting ready as their makeup artist busily worked on them. Namjoon stood talking to Yoongi and Noor, discussing the details of the photo shoot. After finishing your task, you walked over to Johan, who ran towards you shouting Mama. You picked him up, kissed his cheeks and sat him on a nearby bench. Tai and Jungkook smiled and headed towards the food area. Suddenly, Yoongi's eyes catch sight of you and Johan talking and giggling. Johan sat on the bench swinging his legs while you knelt in front of him, smiling as you spoke. Noor, who had been discussing something with Yoongi, stopped when she noticed his distraction. She followed his gaze and saw the two of you. She chuckled and leaned in tease to him. Don't tell me you have fallen in love. Yoongi sighed and Namjoon raised an eyebrow. It's not like that. Then what is it? We have noticed you treating them differently. Yoongi took a deep breath, glancing back at you and Johan. With Johan, I don't know why, but when he calls me Dada, I feel like I have won the world. I don't want him to ever find out I'm not his real father. I want him to always call me Dad. He smiled softly before his eyes drift from Johan to you. And with her, I have never treated any employees like that. But when she's around, I feel different. Ever since the day she walked into my office, something inside me shifted. It's like I have known her before, or maybe my heart has. Noor and Namjoon exchanged smiles. Man, you're in love. Just don't let this chance slip by. Yoongi nodded, his gaze returning to you and Johan with a faint smile. The photo shoot soon began, taking out 4 or 5 hours. Everyone enjoyed lunch together, sharing laughter and stories. By 3 p.m., Yoongi stood up and addressed the group. As you all heard before, we have arranged a game for our employees. Mr. Choi will explain the details. Mr. Choi smiled and bowed. It's a group game and you will team up in pair and search the forest area. We have marked a boundary with a red ropes, so don't cross it. Your goal is to find red flags within the inner area. The team that finds the most flags and return by 7 p.m. wins. The losing team will cook dinner for the winners. If you are playing, come get your tracking watches. Excited, everyone stood up and grabbed a watch, forming teams. I will change first. He hurried inside to change out of his formal suit. I will take Jean. Sounds good? Me and my tiger. Tai chuckled and nodded. Fine. Me and Hobby. Let's beat them, bro. They high-fived. I will take you. Before Jimin could say your name, Noor interrupted. Jimin, take Meow. Jimin looked at Meow, relieved that Noor made it easier for him to team up with her. Soon Yoongi reappeared in black baggy six-pocket trousers and a plain white oversized shirt. His black hair was half tied in a ponytail, the rest falling loosely around his shoulders. You froze, stunned by how different and cool he looked in his casual attire. Realizing you were staring, you quickly looked away. But how will I join with Johan? It's fine, I will carry him. Let's go. He effortlessly picked Johan up in his arms, and you, still in shock, silently followed him. Everyone began exploring the forest, eagerly searching for flags. As everyone ventured into the forest, pairs spread out, excited for the adventure. Laughter and chatter echoed through the trees. Jungkook and Hobby immediately got competitive. Bro, I bet we will find all the flags before anyone else. Yeah, right, with your sense of direction, we will end up finding the dinner table instead. Hobby stumbled over a small root nearby, falling flat on his face. Jungkook burst into the laughter. Hey, that was a trick of the forest, not my fault. Sure, just make sure you don't trip over your own feet next time. Hobby playfully shoved Jungkook, who dodged and kept laughing as they continued searching. Their playfully banter, making the adventure more fun. Meanwhile, Jimin and Mio wandered along a quieter path, with the sunlight filtering softly through the trees. I'm glad we got paired up. Mio glanced up at him, her cheeks slightly pink. Yeah, why is that? Jimin smiled softly because, well, I just feel more at ease around you. Mio blushed harder and Jimin reached over, brushing a stray leaf from her hair. Their fingers brushed and Mio's heart skipped a beat. Oh, thanks. Jimin chuckled as his voice warmed. No problem. They continued walking, the air between them filled with an unspoken connection, each step making their feelings a little clearer through neither said a word. Not far away, Noor and Taeyong were making their own fun, though in a very different way. You know, I don't think we are actually looking for flags. Thanks, Mark, who said we were. I'm more interested in seeing if you can keep up with me. Noor raised an eyebrow. Oh, is that a challenge? I grinned mischievous. Maybe, but you already know I'm faster. Faster, maybe smarter. Definitely not. Before he could respond, she tapped his shoulder and dashed ahead, laughing. Tab blinked in surprise, then chased after her. Hey, you're cheating! Noor laughed over her shoulder. You just can't handle losing. Back on another trail, Yoongi carried Johan while you walked beside them, trying to keep your heart steady. Every now and then, your shoulder would accidentally brush against each other, sending a spark through you. Johan was babbling about random things, waving his arms as he sat in Yoongi's arm, clearly enjoying the adventure. Mama, Dada, look, trees! You smiled at how excited he was. Personally, you tripped over a small stone on the path. Before you could fall, Yoongi swiftly catch you in his arms, squaring you in place. Careful. Your heart raced as you found yourself inches from his face, his steady hands holding you close. You quickly straightened, feeling your cheeks heat up. Thanks, I didn't see the rock. Yoongi just gave a small nod, as usual calm expression in place, though there was a softness in his eyes. As he brushed off the dirt, Johan leaned towards Yoongi. Dada, hug Mama too. Both you and Yoongi froze for a second, then shared a small awkward laugh. Well, I guess we are doing this. Gently, Yoongi shifted Johan so that his small arms wrapped around both of you, pulling you into a group hug. Your heart fluttered as Yoongi's arm brushed against your back, his hold firm but gentle. For a moment, everything seemed to pass. The warmth of the hug, the way Johan giggled between you two, and the soft forest air made it feel perfect. Neither of you said a word. But something unspoken passed between you, something neither of you was ready to admit yet. Yugi finally pulled back, clearing his thought, though his eyes lingered on you for just a second longer. We should keep looking for those flags. You nodded, trying to hide the smile forming on your lips. Right, let's go. As the three of you continue, your thoughts wandered, replaying the moment over and over again. The feelings were growing, but neither of you said a word, letting the unspoken connection hang in the air. Namjoon and Jin were walking side by side, both scanning the forest for flags, but their conversation had already strayed from the game. You think we stand a chance against the other? Jungkook and Hobby are like kids on a sugar rush. Jin chuckled, shaking his head. We will just let them burn themselves out. By the time they are doing coughing around, we will have quickly collected all the flags. Namjoon grinned, adjusting the strap of his backpack. That's your plan. Sneak around while they wear themselves out? Exactly. I don't need to run when my brain does all the work. Namjoon gave him a sideways look, amused. You always have a plan, don't you? Jin flashed his famous broad smile. Of course, I'm not just a pretty face, you know. Namjoon laughed, shaking his head. You're right, you're also a walking ego boost. Jin placed a hand on his chest in mock offensive. Excuse me, it's not a ego if it's true. Namjoon rolled his eyes but couldn't help laughing as they continued deeper in the forest. Their playful bickering keep the mood light and fun. As the clock ticked closer to 7 p.m., the team began trickling back into the starting point. Some looking more tired than others. Jin and Namjoon were the first to arrive, holding a small pile of red flags with smug expression. Told you, Namjoon, brain over brain. Namjoon nodded impressed. You really pulled it off, though I think we might have gotten lucky with a few. Luck, please, it's a skill. Just then Hoppy and Namjoon stumbled back, covered in dirt leaves, each of them holding a single flag. We found one, he announced proudly as if it was a grand achievement. Jungkook panting nodded, and it only took us the whole day. Jin raised an eyebrow. One flag, really? Jungkook shrugged sheepishly. Hobbit tripped like 5 times. We got a bit distracted. It's the forest, there's too much going on, he exclaimed, pulling twigs off his ear. Jin just laughed. Yeah, let's go with that. Next to arrive were Noor and Taeyong, who were holding several flags, but the look on Tae's was priceless. He was drained in sweat and panting. Noor grinned mischievously. I told you to take the shortcut, but no, you wanted to adventure, didn't you, Tiger? I thought it would be faster. Noor chuckled and ruffled his hair. Sure, but we found more flags than those two. She pointed at Hobby and Jungkook, who were still catching their breath. Taeyong tried to defend himself. I wanted it to be fun. Jungkook Harry is chimed in. At least we weren't only one struggling. Bobby gave a thumb up. Solidarity, bro. Mia and Jimmy returned next, looking more composed but not without their own bit of dirt from trekking through the woods. We found four flags. Mia smiled, holding them proudly. We might have been a little slower, but we worked together. Jimin gave a quick grin. Teamwork makes the dream work. Then finally, Yoongi appeared with Johan in his arm. You walking beside him, holding a decent bundle of flags. We found six. Everyone turned to you impressed. Six? How did you manage that with Johan? Yoongi smirked slightly, adjusting Johan in his arms. Turn out having a kid means you can cover more ground. He kept pointing out all the flags. Johan clapped his hands excitedly. I helped, Dad. I found them. Everyone smiled at Johan's enthusiasm. Well, it looked like you two won. Wait. Didn't we agree that we announce the winner after checking all the flags? You're just salty because you didn't win, Jin. Taeyong leaned forward, trying to keep a straight face. Yeah, who needs a plan when you have got a kid pointing over flags for you? Jin crossed his arms, pretending to pout. Fine, I will accept defeat, but only this time. Niobe signed dramatically. Well, look like Jungkook and I will be cooking dinner tonight. At least I know how to boil water, right? Jimin chuckled. We all in trouble if you two are cooking. Noor added easily. Don't worry, we will survive. Just don't burn anything down. Jungkook gave a mock salute. No promises. Everyone burst out laughing. The light-hearted teasing filling the air as the group relaxed after the long day. Yoongi, still holding your hand, glanced your way, a subtle smile playing on his lips. You catch his gaze, feeling the warmth between you both. Though neither of you said anything, the unspoken connection lingered as everyone began packing up, looking forward to have a fun and hopefully edible dinner cooked by the losing team. As the night settled in, everyone headed to their rooms after the long adventurous day. Jimin, however, quietly sneaked out, making his way towards the trees where Meow had asked him to meet. Jimin smiled when he spotted her standing there, bathed in moonlight. She grinned back as he approached. Finally, I thought you weren't coming. Jimin chuckled. Me? Not show off? Never, just had to make sure the coast was clear. Meow smirked, stepping closer. Good, because we need to finish what we started earlier. Just as Jimmy moved closer to her, the sudden flash of a camera interrupted their movement. They both jumped and turned to see Jungkook standing there with his phone in his hand, his mouth wide open and eyes as big as saucers. The camera flash blinked again. Oops. Before Jimin or Myung could say anything, they heard footsteps behind them. Turning around, they found themselves face to face with everyone else. Yoongi, Hugh, Namjoon, Jin, Hobby, Taeyong and Noor standing there equally shocked. You glanced at Yoongi, who had a sharp expression on his face. His lips pressed into the thin line. He looked furious but was holding it back. What is going on here? Everyone sat around the wooden chairs, the table between them as the dark forest surrounded them. The only light came from the glowing bulbs hanging from the trees, casting a soft, warm glow over the group. The huge hotel loomed nearby, its lights barely reaching the forest edge. Mio, sitting nervously, finally spoke up, breaking the heavy silence. We are not dating now, but as Jin and Hobby know, we were all in the same college. Jimin and I were classmates. We liked each other and confessed too, but the day he confessed, he disappeared. And I never saw him again. After all these years, I met him again the day he came to pick up wine from the cafe. Yesterday, when he came here, we finally talked and cleared the misunderstanding. We thought maybe we could date again since we still love each other. Jimmy nodded, continuing where Mio left off. Actually, after confessing to Mio in college, I got a call from our mom. Everything changed after that. Things got worse, and I never had a chance to come back. I thought she must have moved on, so I didn't have the courage to contact her. Yoongi, who had been sitting quietly, crossed his arms, his jaw clenched, his deep voice cut through the air, laced with frustration. If you really loved her, why did you disappear like that? Everyone went silent. The weight of his question hung in the air. Jimmy looked down, clearly struggling with how to answer, and the other exchanged glances. You, however, knew why Jimmy had disappeared. You took a deep breath and spoke up, your voice soft yet clear. That day I was in the hospital. All eyes turned to you, but you kept our gaze on Yoongi's as you explained. My husband, he was abusive. I was in danger and I had to be shifted to Seoul because I was in a deep depression. I got divorced after that. We didn't want to go back to Daegu because we were afraid my ex-husband would find me. We were hiding and then our parents. Your voice cracked as you remembered the pain. Our parents died in an accident. We weren't in our right minds after that. It all happened because of me. You looked at Jimin and Mio, tears already bringing in your eyes. I'm sorry because of me you both got separated. I didn't know Jimin loved someone. I'm really sorry. Unable to hold back any longer, the tears fell. Mio immediately stood up, rushing to you and pulling you into a tight hug. No one, it's not your fault. Don't be sorry, please don't. Jimin stood up too, his eyes filled with emotion as he tried to hold back his tears. He looked away for a moment before stepping forward, pulling you into a protective hug. He kissed the top of your head, his voice soft and reassuring. Shh, don't be sorry. I'm glad I was there for my sister when she needed me most. You did nothing wrong. You nodded weakly, wiping your tears as Jimin and Myo sat back down. The atmosphere was thick with emotion as everyone quietly proceeded everything you had shared. Myo and Jimin exchanged a look before glancing at Yoongi, who hadn't spoken since you revealed your past. He was staring at you, his usual calm, cold expression cracked, revealing the hurt he felt hearing what you had gone through. His eyes were full of pain, not just for Jimin or Mio's separation, but for everything you had endured. Yoongi wanted nothing more than to reach out and hold you, to tell you that you didn't have to go through any more pain, that he was here for you. But instead, he stayed quiet, his fist clenching in frustration as he inability to comfort you the way he wanted to. You glanced at Yoongi, seeing the unspoken emotions on his face. It was clear that he was struggling, torn between maintaining his usual stoic demeanor and the urge to show you how much he cared. For a moment, your eyes met, and in that brief exchange, you felt the warmth and care he was holding back. But Yoongi, despite his emotions, stayed silent, and so did you. Both of you catch in the delayed space between friendship and something more. After the heavy silence hung in the air, Jin cleared his throat, trying to break the tension. Well, I think it's pretty clear Jimin was being a responsible brother, but it's hard to blame him for that, right? Hobby always the bright one jumped in with a grin. Exactly, come on, Yoongi, you know how we all are. Family first. Namjoon chuckled, nodding in agreement. I agree, plus I think we have all seen how Mia and Jimin looked at each other. It's obvious they care about each other, right? Jungkook, who had been quiet till now, spoke up, trying to add some humor to lighten the mood. Honestly, Yoongi Hyung, I think you are just mad because Jimin beat you to it. Everyone burst into the laughter at that, the tension slowing, melting away. Yoongi narrowed his eyes at Jungkook but couldn't help the small smirk tugging at his lips. See, you are not fooling anyone, Yoongi. You are not really that mad. And besides, Jimin is your future brother-in-law now, huh? Yoongi showed Jin a look, but even that couldn't hide the amusement in his eyes. You guys. Namjoon leaned back in his chair, his arms crossed over his chest as he smiled at Yoongi. Come on, Yoongi, let's be real. If they are happy, what's the problem? Yoongi sighed, looking over at Jimin and Mio, who were nervously waiting for his final response. He could see how much they cared about each other. Despite his protective restriction as Mio's brother, he knew Jimin had his reason and truly loved her. Fine, I guess I don't have a problem with it. Jin grinned widely, clapping his hands together in victory. That's it is Yoongi's approval. That's all you need. Mio sighed in relief, and Jimin smiled, finally feeling like things were falling into place. We smiled softly, watching everything unfold as the tension was replaced with light-hearted banter. This calls for a celebration. Drinks on Yoongi. Yoongi raised an eyebrow but didn't object, which only made everyone laugh more. Don't push your luck, hubby. I will take that as a yes. Everyone continued to laugh and joke. The heaviness of earlier complete gone now. Yoongi, though quiet, was clearly more at ease, glancing at your way occasionally. You catch his eye once, offering him a small smile, and he returned it, a silent understanding passing between you both. As the conversation continued, Jimmy leaned closer to Mio, whispering something in her ear that made her giggle softly. As everyone laughed and continued their conversation, a team member approached the group, gently carrying a sleepy Johan in her arms. You had left him with her to watch over while you stepped outside for a moment, and he had just woken up. Here is it, still a little droopy and just as adorable. She smiled, handing Johan over to you. His arms reached out instinctively as you gently took him into your embrace. His sleepy eyes blinked slowly and his chubby cheeks puffed as he yawned. Thank you so much for watching him. I hope he wasn't too much trouble. Not at all, he is just little angel. As Johann snuggled into your arms, everyone around the table couldn't help but let out soft coo, admiring how cute he looked in his sleepy state. Look at him, he looks like a teeny tiny bear. I'm melting. How is he so cute even when he's half asleep? I want to squeeze those cheeks. Namjoon chuckled, shaking his head. You better be careful, Cook, or Yoongi Hyung might get protective. You chuckled at their reaction, but as Johan stood more awake, his eyes fluttered open and searched the group. Without hesitation, he stretched his little arms out towards Yoongi. Dada! Everyone paused for a moment, their attention shifting to Yoongi. Johan's small voice was soft and sleepy, but his request was clear. He wanted to be with Yoongi. Yoongi's expression softened immediately, and before you could even react, he stood up from his chair and walked over to you. Come here, little guy. You handed Johan over to Yoongi, who carefully cradled him in his arms. Johan rested his head against Yoongi's shoulder, his tiny hands clutching onto Yoongi's shirt as he yawned again. Oh, Johan loves his dad. Jimmy smiled, watching Yoongi's gentle expression as he held Johan close. It's a perfect fit. Yoongi grinned widely. Look like we have got a mini Yoongi in the making. Yoongi gave a small smile, his usual reserved demeanor replaced with a warmth that was clear in the way he held Johan. You watched the scene unfold, your heart swelling at the sight of Yoongi so naturally holding your hand. It was a quiet but touching moment, one that made you realize how much Yoongi cared for both of you, even if he hadn't fully said it yet. Look like Johan now, who is his favorite is. Yoongi chuckled softly, brushing his hand over Johan's hair as the little boy settled comfortably in his arms. He's always like this. He smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over you, as everyone admired the bond between Yoongi and Johan. Despite the teasing and laughter, there was a special connection between them that no one could deny.